Hi, welcome to another episode of Galaxy Gardens. My name is Chrissy. Today is the summer solstice. It is a little cloudy out, but that's okay. We're going to take you around for our June garden tour. Everything is coming in, it looks gorgeous, and we're also going to have Greg joining us today. So let's go check it out. Before we get into anything, I just want to recognize that Greg mowed our lawn and it looks really good. Everything is standing out. Back here was looking like a prairie, which was pretty, but you know, just gonna take a moment to appreciate all that work. He also mowed around the house, so I definitely appreciate it. Then when we get over here, obviously we don't need any mowing, but we're gonna be going in there today. I found Greg, so he's gonna talk to us about some peppers that are growing.
All right, so in this bed over here, we've got a bunch of peppers varieties just kind of spread out throughout here with some other things. Got some eggplant down here, some lettuce that's been cut back, but you can see it's starting to grow back a little bit. Some dill in the middle, and then the rest of this is all peppers with, oh yeah, some
It's
basil.
fennel.
Oh, that's fennel? Oops.
Yeah, it's fennel. I put dill somewhere else. There's dill next door in the garlic.
Oh yeah. Now that I see that the fennel is a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, my bad. So these peppers, I don't know, it might be a little hard to see. We got these in the mail as starts. They're Carolina Reapers, and this one here has really come back to life.
Oh yeah, I could zoom in.
Yeah. So this one here looks like it's doing pretty well because we put these in the ground at least probably 3 weeks ago, I want to say. So they've had some time to acclimate. This one's got some growth still on it, so it's not dead, but it's got a little ways to go. These are Carolina Reapers, and I'm hoping we can get it some out of at least this one. Then we got some jalapenos over here, which are, you know, classic, and they're already starting to fruit a little bit. Got a couple here. It's curious if those will be spicy because sometimes the ones that come in early aren't as hot as the ones that come in during the real harvest that you'll get towards the end of the season. We got Shishitos here. Actually, do you think this one's ready to eat right now?
Yeah, why don't you pick it? I was looking at it before. Yeah, but can you show the camera? Hold on, let me zoom. There we go. That's a good looking shishito. Yeah, I got them because I always see people online doing like stir fries. I thought that'd be fun.
You want to try it?
Yeah.
There's almost no spice to it.
No, they're not supposed to be that spicy.
Yeah. Tastes good though. This is
there's
definitely
like a few
good
more
for.
coming in.
Yep. And I think these ones here are cow horns, I believe. So those ones are starting to come in as well. Those will get a lot bigger, even though they already look like they're starting to get pretty big. Those tend to be huge.
And we also have some Greek basil, which is doing good. And we planted nasturtiums, which are starting to come up. But overall, this one looks good. Do you want to do the other pepper bed too?
Yeah. In this bed, it's looking really good as well. You'll see a similar combination. We got peppers sprinkled in. This is, oh, don't tell me, Swiss chard, right?
Yeah! Woo!
More
Got it.
basil. That is catnip. More basil. And the lettuce here, this is kind of a good example of how when you cut back lettuce, it just comes back in, right? You can see we cut it off to eat some salad the other day. It's already coming back up. More eggplant over here too. Now the funny thing about this bed, I don't remember what everything is as well because
I think that's a Scotch bonnet.
this is definitely a Scotch bonnet. Once the fruit comes in, I'll be able to tell you what all of them are because I know the other ones are habanero and fatali, and I feel like there's one more that might be in here. Do you remember what the other one was? Did we do Serrano?
Maybe.
I think we did Serrano. Yeah, so there's gonna, I'll be able to tell what they are when they're.
Oh yeah, we did, dude. Yeah. No, it is Serrano.
Yep. So the only ones that I can tell you are these. So I think they're in fours. So I'm guessing it's 1, 2, 3, 4 Scotch bonnet, and the rest of them.
Oh, atomic starfish.
Oh yeah, atomic starfish too.
I think that's the one in the back.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
If you guys want to know the specifics, you can definitely go look at the planting video that we did. I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah.
Otherwise, these are looking really good. I need to put more mulch in.
Yeah. No, it's looking great. Everything looks healthy. Already getting peppers. I mean, you're really not expecting to get anything until end of July, usually. So
Yeah.
the fact that we're getting stuff now is just fun.
Yeah, it's very pretty though. I'm gonna talk to you guys about some tomatoes because all of our tomatoes are coming in. You can see we have our garlic here. If you watched our garlic scape video, we already collected all the scapes. Now we're in the last month before we're gonna harvest them. And I'll talk more about that as we get closer. But you can see we have our dill that's grown back. If you've been following us on Instagram, you've been seeing all the things we've been harvesting already. Otherwise, you know, I just wanted to give you a close-up on how all the tomatoes are doing. We started to make some tomato trellises, but we need to make some more. This one's not trellised yet, so I'm going to show you the difference of what that looks like. But otherwise, very, very healthy. Here's a closer look at the bed. So we have our black beauties here, and they are just taking off. They look very, very healthy. We have our Genovese basil in between. So these are gonna get staked up. The garlic is still going. This side we have our orange tomatoes also doing well, and our basil is taking off too, and in this case is even flowering. This is what the trellis is gonna look like when it's done on that one, but we already got 2 done. So we have the trellis connected on top. So instead of an arch like we did with the cucumbers, we tried to make it more square. And here with these tomatoes, also looking very, very healthy. We just loosely tied them with some rope. Again, this garlic, we collected all the scapes. That's looking really, really healthy. So is all the catnip there. If we're lucky, that will spread in this bed as well as it has over here. But these look really cool. And our parsley, if you remember from when we planted it, it didn't really like it, but the middles were looking good. Well, it's grown back now. Okay, I'm using Greg as a size reference for our other tomato trellis. You're 5'9", right?
5'10".
God damn it! Every time I think you're 5'9", 5'10". So these are our grape tomatoes, Marzanos, paste tomatoes, next to our beautiful flowering mustards, which we'll get to. But just another example that we very loosely tied the tomatoes up. So as they continue up here, we'll just keep going. But these are looking good. Our days are, you know, over 15 hours at this point. Today is the solstice, which is awesome. So our onions are beginning to bolt. If you remember the sets that we planted, these are much bigger, and we're hoping that they put on a lot more size before we have to harvest them, so that'd be awesome. And we have some more garlic back there. A little touch of rust, but that's a new variety that we bought, so whoever we bought it from, and I don't even remember, it's probably from them. But it is alive, so if it looks okay when we pick it, then we'll probably save it for seeds, or seed garlic. But otherwise, these tomatoes also look really good. And we have our first flowers. Isn't that beautiful? Everything is growing faster than usual and flowering earlier than we did last year, so we're really happy about that. Greg, what are we looking at here?
Well, what we're looking at here is some onions. And these ones are red onions. They make it pretty easy to tell. And honestly, I'm pretty stoked on these just from what the top of it looks like. They appear to be getting pretty decent size. We're just at the solstice now, so they're gonna be kind of finishing up soon. And honestly, if these turn out to be as good as they look, I'm gonna be all about starts in the future. I mean, is that what they're called? No,
no, not the starts.
Sets.
The sets, yeah.
Sets, yeah, because these were way easier to plant than the starts, and they were cheaper too.
I think they're looking good. I've been giving them fertilizer periodically. They're definitely growing slower than the white ones, I think.
Yeah, but they still look pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to chop them up anyways.
Then we got more garlic over here. This will be ready to pull probably a week or two.
Nah. July, wait.
A week or two is July.
Oh my gosh. That's right, it's the end of June. Whew. Yeah, probably. We'll see, because the bottoms haven't started dying back yet. I will go and talk about this in later videos, but you'll wait for your bottom leaves to start turning brown, going from the bottom up, and usually when you get like 4 or 5, that's a good time to harvest them. You can see some of them are just starting, and they don't really need any more water once you start seeing that, but that is another video. Otherwise, these look good. Next up we have potatoes, and Greg's gonna talk about that, but just look how pretty those flowers are. They have beautiful lilac color to them. Hi, Greg.
Hey.
What do you got to say about potatoes?
I just think they're neat.
They are pretty neat. That's why we grow them.
Yep. So they're so neat. All right. So they're flowering, and they got purple flowers to them. Are these the purple ones? I don't remember which bed we put which ones in.
Oh, these I want to say are Baltic rose.
Okay.
I think.
So they're red, right?
They're pink.
Oh, okay. Does the color of the flower have anything to do with the color of the potato?
Maybe, because if you come over here, I believe these are the all blue. And these ones, let me get a little close up here.
Yeah, those ones are definitely more blue than
Yeah, these ones kind of have like a blue flower. Oh.
These ones also have another fun thing, which is potato berries that are extremely toxic.
Yeah.
But I guess if you didn't know any better and you walked by this, you might think that that's the fruit that this produces.
Nope.
That is not. Do they have fruit? Seeds in them though? I've never cut one open before.
Yeah, you can actually get potato seeds from them.
No way.
You can grow a potato from seed.
Does anybody do that?
No.
I figured.
I'm sure somebody does.
Yeah.
So the potato berries, they're in the nightshade family, so they kind of look like tomatoes, but you don't want to eat these. You don't want to eat anything above ground that has to do with potatoes.
Yeah, it's all toxic.
All toxic.
Everything you want is underneath all that straw and mulch and dirt, and we'll be digging that up, 3 weeks?
Oh, I don't know, probably August.
August?
Depends. They're flowering earlier than usual, but I also have no concept of time, so there's a better view of those flowers. So when you get flowering potatoes, these ones are already flowered, and the flowers fell off, as you can see right there. That's how you know your potatoes are actually mature enough to start developing their tubers underground. If we dug them up at this point, the size of the tubers would probably be like the size of a quarter, if even that. So from this point to when you'll notice the tops dying back, which should be in about a month, you'll start seeing that. Everything underground is growing. And they have all been flowering. Our Adirondack Reds actually had pink flowers, which is cool. So I'm thinking these ones must be the Pinto Gold because they have white flowers, which I know are not coming up very good. There you go. Yeah, I think this is the Pinto Gold bed. But we do love our potatoes, and that's why we grow so many. So over here we have our greens bed, which is doing phenomenal this year. We have a variety of kales, Swiss chards, we have collard greens right here. We did plant some okra in here, but okra doesn't really grow that well up in our neck of the woods. It takes a while. I'll show you our other okra. But the greens are doing great. We've been harvesting them like once or twice a week because I like to harvest them in bulk for use. Either give them to the chickens or we'll cook them. And we also have our onion border around, which is also growing. But it looks really good, so I'm just going to give you a wide angle.
Gotta love those perimeter onions.
I am in love with the perimeter onions, and I want to do that every year. This is our other bed that also has okra in it. We're gonna thin it out. This is cow horn okra. And it's starting to get its second set of leaves there. We're gonna thin it out. You really don't want to here. We'll probably keep this one because it looks like it's doing better. But it is gonna go atop these carrots. Obviously the carrots are doing amazing. This is about what I expected as far as size goes for okras at this point. We probably won't start seeing any actual okra coming in probably till like mid to late July. So they got a ways to go. But this garlic should come out in a couple weeks.
Great. So in this bed we've got a bunch of different things going on. Up here we've just got a bunch of different kinds of beets. And that's what this is here too, right? Beets.
Oh yeah, it's like alternating beets and fennel and onions.
Yep, and you got fennel sticking up through here. It's the fun stuff here. These onions were started from seed, so I'm really excited to see what happens with them because that is no easy feat.
No idea.
Along the border here, we've got cucumbers, so they're eventually going to have to go up over this trellis. That's why that's there. And then more onions, more fennel right here, more beets. And my personal favorite, the volunteer potato. We planted potatoes in this bed last year, and apparently we missed one of them when we were picking them. So we got one little tiny, well, it's not that small anymore, but we got one potato plant in here. We're just gonna let it ride, see what it is. We don't even remember what variety it was.
I had no idea what we planted there.
Yeah.
Although we do have the harvest video from last year.
Yeah, we
like
could
one of the
probably
first
figure it
videos
out.
we did. But that takes effort, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll just wait until it harvests. Still hasn't
Fair.
flowered yet.
Yeah. Here, I'll do a little close up so you can see what's in there. I'm personally really happy with the way that this trellis came out, but that's just me. I don't remember.
Good job making it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't remember what cucumbers we have. That is also on video somewhere. I do know these are Armenian cucumbers, which are technically gourds, but when you harvest them early, they're like cucumbers. But this is doing so good. So if you remember the beets we planted out front, they didn't do anything. I planted those like a month before these, and these are doing way better. But the cucumbers are getting to be about big enough where we can start trellising them. So what I'm gonna do with these is just get some more sticks and connect it. There's a side view. And we are not thinning out our beets because they will make room for each other. This is a very loose soil mix, so it's gonna work itself out. I get tired of messing with the tripod, so I'm gonna show you what's going on behind me. Our beautiful mustards have gone to flower, and most of them, you can see here, are making seed pods. Look at that. And I can tell that they are the ones to cooperate and get into focus. I can tell from those bumps that there are seeds developing in there. So what I'm gonna do is leave it on here until those pods go brown, and then you can harvest them. So this is all our Mizunas, both, I guess, genetic variations. And then put some beans in here, which I'm gonna clean up these mustards so the beans have more light. There's some more Swiss chard. This is a Mibuna mustard. This one actually is not flowering just yet, but it's starting to, if you can see that in the middle. But they look absolutely gorgeous. These are, gosh, I don't even know, like 3 feet high. But you can also see our summer squashes are coming up. I believe this is a gray zucchini. Now this is not powdery mildew. This is just the way the leaf grows. It's actually a very like silvery variegation there, so that's pretty cool. These, I believe, are petty pan squashes, which I only grow because they look like UFOs, and I buy the white variety because, of course. And then I don't remember what's over here. I want to say that's coquezel, maybe. And that's just Italian striped squash. So everything's doing good. We do have some cilantro in there. along with some cilantro over in these tomatoes. But I do also want to talk about this bed over here because that's looking awesome. You can see my tatsoi here flowering, also putting out some seed pods there at the bottom if you can see that. These are all in the mustard family, so you notice that the flowers look pretty similar. Pretty similar. So tatsoi's flowering, that's fine. We're gonna get some more going for the fall. Over here we have all of our watermelons coming up. They look awesome. I don't know which is which, but we can verify that with another video. I know for a fact this is Moon and Stars because they have those really cool yellow blotches on the leaves. And that just comes with growing that watermelon. I thought it was a viral issue the first time I grew it, but indeed it is not. So these are all doing good. You can tell this is a pumpkin. They're growing a little bit differently than the watermelons. And we also have squashes all along the fence coming in. Very quickly, you can see down Pawpaw Lane, we have one all the way here that got mowed, but it's coming back. This one's doing well, as is this one. And our blackberries, which we planted along the fence, are doing well. And our kiowas are actually flowering and putting out berries this year. Here's a look at our squashes coming in by the fence, as well as the other side. I'm excited for those pumpkins. So our main garden is doing fantastic right now. I didn't get it on video, but we also, in between all of our beds by the fence, we have some beans going. I believe dragon tongue beans, and along the posts we have rattlesnake beans. Here creeping along our garden fence is our hardy kiwi male pollinator. And it's stretching out. We're not gonna get any kiwis this year. I was looking online and I guess they would have, flowered and been setting fruit by now. But our female is also expanding, so we're really hoping for these to turn into some strong trunks. Behind us, we have our fruit trees and strawberries and other stuff that's growing in between.
There's actually 2 strawberries coming up here.
Yes.
There's a few others.
Yes, our strawberries are doing pretty good. If you remember the ones I planted last week, or it might have been 2 weeks ago, but a couple are really taking off, which is great. And then over here, we have to weed this out desperately. But there's some more strawberries here that are setting fruit. And our white Carolinas are expanding, I guess would be the nice way to put it. But we need to thin those out. Over here you can see our apples coming in. They look good. Underneath them, I actually just put the rest of our herbs in. We have some oregano over there, chamomile, and again, one of our strawberries from last week. And here we have our cardoon, which is just looking amazing. I mean, look at that. That looks fantastic. We have fennel going in the middle. And I also, let's see if I can find one. I put some sesame seeds in here, but I don't remember where. Oh, here we go. There's some sesame seed starts. Starting to come up. We have white and black sesame seeds. So they're doing pretty good. Put another oregano right there. This bed is the same. You can see the little sesame seeds coming up in between the fennel.
Did you put a strawberry
I did put a strawberry right there.
Nice.
Oh, is that one coming up too? Look at that. Look at that beauty. So I'm really proud of this. This was planted as a peach whip, like probably 2 years ago now. It's starting to take on a tree shape, so we're just gonna let that go. Our other peach has peaches getting bigger on it, so that's good. Fortunately, some of them still got eaten by insects, so there will probably be a worm in there, despite spraying. But what can you do? Around our trees over here, we put some salad burnet. Right there, that's another strawberry. And I believe that is basil and toothache plant. Next to it, we have our cowpea cornet beans. They're a bush variety. They're coming up. So we're hoping for a bunch of bush beans. Put some more chamomile, toothache plant, and thyme under our really big pear tree. Over here we have Mayflower beans, which are a pull variety, which I realized after, so we're gonna make some trellises for that. And over here we have some more salad burnet, toothache plant, and basil. And we just planted all this yesterday, so you can see some transplant shock. But otherwise, it's doing really, really well. Special mention for our apricot, which is taking off, and our mulberry, which is also doing pretty good, but I need to get them some mulch. We have one more garden area to show you in the back, and then we can move to the front where our grains are growing. Our lavender is doing really, really well this year, so I'm gonna let the flowers open before we harvest it. And I'm hoping to use it for something. I haven't figured that out yet, but it was definitely more than last year, and it survived the winter, so that's awesome. And on the other side here, our thornless blackberry is putting on tons of fruit. We have some time to go before it ripens, but we might have enough to make a sour beer, and that would be pretty great. If you've never seen a chickpea growing, I want to show you it right now. Chickpeas, or garbanzo beans, are in the legume family, which you'll notice in the growth pattern above the soil. They actually kind of remind me of peanuts growing, although peanuts have more of a fan shape. But we're really excited for these to come in. We got lucky enough that no chipmunks have stolen all of them, so that's good. Next to them we have some strawberry popcorn. It hasn't all come up yet, but it is coming up pretty steadily, so that's exciting. We have some very antsy chickens who want to come out into the yard. So we put all of this soil around, so we have some glass gem corn and some more strawberry popcorn, just 2 rows, and garbanzo beans. I actually ended up having extra, which is great. And at the end of it, one of our overwintered figs is growing in, and it looks amazing. This is a Chicago Hardy. We have another one around the corner I want to show you, which isn't coming on as much growth, but is starting. And that is our Texas Everbearing, as well as our Fuyu persimmon, which is doing really well next to our lilies and some very annoyed chickens. We're done out back, so now I'm going to show you Brassica Lane. Brassica Lane is looking really nice.
Yeah, this is a good idea. They never do well in full sun. Like the conditions that do well for all that stuff over there kills these things, but they get mostly shade back here and they're doing great.
Indeed. So we have a bunch of broccoli on the left, which we've started harvesting. We've been putting on Instagram. Our cauliflower, which is right there, has not yet produced heads, but I think it will. Greg's hanging out with the neighbor, so you and I get to take a break together. And oh God, I can't believe that we made it to the summer solstice. A lot of people don't like it because it means that darkness is coming, which, you know, probably 6 months away. So I think we're okay. But we really look at it as a time of refreshment and change and of good things coming. And I know good things are coming because we planted all this food. Like, we're getting food at a minimum. We've tried to plan a bunch of summer activities, so that'll be fun. I hope you and yours have good summer activities coming for you. Or otherwise, you know, if you haven't started your garden yet, you can still start one, like right now. We'll be starting our fall garden soon. I'll share that with you. But otherwise, you know, definitely want to show you everything now that everything is in full swing. P.S. We love the summer solstice because of all the sun, and it reminds me of that really cool horror movie that came out a couple of years ago, you know, about people who go to Sweden. I'm not going to say the name because I don't like giving out free advertising, but I love that movie. You might not know this, but I am a huge horror buff, and I love horror movies, everything horror, sci-fi. So, you know, any important time of the year like this, ooh, love it. I planted some corn in here last week, and it hasn't started coming up. It should take maybe into like later this week to start germinating. I don't even know how long it's been. I guess it's been a week. But we're gonna come over here and clean this up because we're gonna plant our dent corn this week. And I'm finally coming for the turnip. I'm finally taking it out. I really want to know what it looks like. Ooh! Look at that! That was my first successful turnip ever. This thing is hefty. This is at least like half a pound. It's like really dense. And probably not half a pound. It's not that big, but look at that thing. I grabbed a couple more just for dinner, but those look awesome. Definitely excited to get the rest and get the corn out of here. I also planted corn in our landscaping beds around the house. So we'll see if that comes up. That's just some more silver queen. Got a valerian root here. That looks good. So we'll see when the corn decides to come up, if the chipmunks haven't stolen it. The lingonberries haven't put on that much growth, but they're hanging in there. And they look good. I just cleaned out a bunch of thistle from here, so hopefully they grow some more before the end of the year. Also, speaking of fruit trees, look who decided to grow. This is my oldest tree. I purchased it, I think, in 2012. And I put it outside finally. And I was worried I'd killed it, but I left it to see what would happen. It's doing really, really well. I think it's gorgeous. Hopefully it'll give us some figs, but we'll find out. Behind me I have my raspberries. And if you saw on Instagram, I was collecting a bunch of raspberry and blackberry leaves for tea. So now they're coming in. We have Rockin' Double Red Raspberry and a Fall Gold. So you can see the difference in varieties, but nothing quite yet. We'll see. These are also coming in a bit earlier than last year, so hopefully we get a bunch. They're doing better than the ones last year. So we're really excited. We did have to clean up to contain them to the left and to the right here. But we'll get a trellis in. It'll be contained. Here's an update on our grains. Our sorghum's doing good. Our rice is doing really good. Our triticale. Run to the other side. Even more sorghum I have to thin out a little bit. Another patch of rice and triticale. And then our tobacco is struggling a little bit, so I replanted some, but it's hanging in there. Our cabbages, on the other hand, are starting to show signs that they might be making heads soon. We have early Jersey Wakefield, and what's the other one? Late Flat Dutch cabbage. This one's a Jersey Wakefield, and this one's the Dutch cabbage. So they're starting to come together. We're using them twofold as a landscaping plant and to eat eventually. So we'll get there. This one in particular looks really good, so I'm excited. Our elderberries are also doing okay. They're putting on some new growth and actually flowering. This one in particular, I believe this is our ranch, is just starting to flower. And it looks beautiful. It smells really good too. I almost forgot to mention it, but we have blueberries coming in. We planted these last year and had to give them a heavy prune just to take all the dead stuff off. But they're looking really good. And we had some extra tomatoes that we couldn't pawn off on people, so we put them in between. And you can see we have to weed a little bit, but otherwise, they look really good. Our rhubarb is doing really good. I need to put it in the ground, but it's still alive. Our black raspberry, as you know, was pulled out of its pot and something just ate the roots. So I think we're just not meant to have black raspberry. In other news, our asparagus trees are looking especially fern-like. Next year, we'll start harvesting asparagus. This is just year 2. I love these blackberries. Can't wait to get the T-posts, and they're gonna look really good. Everything looks really good. All right, well, thanks for joining us on our garden tour this week. We'll definitely keep you updated. We don't have anything else planned right now, so our focus in a couple weeks is to get the fall garden going. But otherwise, I think today is a pretty good solstice day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful.
I'm pretty happy with it, even with the clouds. Everything's looking good. I even noticed we have one of our first summer squashes is starting to set fruit, so that's exciting. And I'm happy you're here looking at stuff, looking at potatoes. Definitely excited for those. If you want to check us out online, we have a lot of other social media apps that we're on, and you can find that in our link tree along with our Cash App and Venmo information if you want to send us a tip. You have anything else?
No, have a good solstice, everybody.
Yeah, get outside. Bye.